Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine avatara varisthaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. Yathagnirdahika shakti Ramakrishne stita hiya Sarva vidya swarupam tam Sharadam pranamamyaham. Namah Shri Yatirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharini. Nice, beautiful morning. Nature, very lovely and elevating. In that we are together sitting and thinking of the timeless wisdom which we have to imbibe in our life and continue our life in a new way the ancient people lived. Then only we'll be acquiring peace. We have been seeing how civilization grows up and how it gives birth to culture and how culture gives us the inner peace and joy and inner freedom. Freedom from mind, freedom from the external situations of life, and independent of whole external world. How can we peacefully love on this earth? So we are dealing with that. Now, just we will have a recapitulation of the last class. See, we were seeing how the civilizations, ancient civilizations, have been transforming or influencing the entire history. That is what we have been seeing. And then so many countless civilizations came, glittered for a while and disappeared. Many have left behind some marks. Many must have gone away without leaving any marks at all. And we saw in the last class archaeologists how they use the term civilization. The term civilization is used when the people wandering around to acquire food and the things settle down in a place for a quite long time with a definite purpose, where the water is available, where agriculture produce is possible. They used to sow seeds, pick up the produce and live with the tameable animals. From that time, people we consider as civilized people. They know how to live in the world depending on utilizing the forces of nature and living. So all animals also live, but our life is how to utilize the resources of nature and powers of nature and live. And before that we call them, though millions of years in humanity is existing, till that period where the settlements start coming, we call uncivilized and later on civilized. The small settlements, they grown into villages, large villages, townships, then vibrant cities. And when civilization provides all the basic needs of man, food, clothing and shelter, the next thing the human seeks is to be happy and joyful in life. This then the civilization give birth to culture. First thing we need is safety, security, and from this, when you start living together, we need safety and security. Because there are people who cannot afford, we exert, they want to snatch away others. So these things come into picture. Then the moral codes, social codes, government, police, defense, all these come into existence. Then this joy and happiness, a kind of secure life starts. Then where is the joy and peace within? So they want to aspire for joy of living. When joy of living comes into picture, there generates play, art, then sculpture, all these start growing. Then the external beautiful songs I can hear, I see the dance, these things, play going on, children playing, all this brings joy of life. Then comes internal peace. Lasting inner peace, the jiva starts seeking. Help in danger, succor in distress, refuge for internal errors and guilt that way. Where to put that? Where to get it emptied? We want a place. Then unburden the heart. Lay the head somewhere in peace. All this becomes solace for the burning heart. Then warding of fear of death. And to be in company, somebody to be in company at the time of death, to peacefully leave the body. All this generates theology and religion. Acceptance of God somewhere, something, a power that is governing all lives and this universe comes into picture. Then theology and religion. Then the efforts to transcend the nature internal, lust, greed and all that, and external nature. Body is aging, old age is coming, death is certain, all things are just passing events. So efforts to transcend this limited world and go beyond makes us, generates spirituality and philosophy. Spiritual, my bodily existence and spiritual existence. Spiritual is unchanging, eternal. Bodily existence is constantly changing and subjected to death. That is, inner self is immortal. That concept and reality, they must start transcending their nature and go beyond. So spirituality and philosophy comes into picture. These factors we saw in last class, and then we saw the two trails. When we start contemplating and looking around, there are two ways of going, one inward and outward. The outward towards the bodily comforts, sustenance, means of sustenance, all this expands through science. Or we can say outward search makes us scientific. Similarly, inward search. Who am I? What is this? Where I have come to this world? All this start giving us spiritual development, external scientific development, inner. As we go inner, spiritual security, spiritual awareness, spiritual existence, all this, it leads to inner peace and inner joy. So scientific advancement develops the civilization. Inward development, spiritual development brings us peace and happiness or bliss. So to be specific, the term is bliss. Science and outward movement is like a body. Science is body and spirituality is soul. And scientific advancement, of course, gives all comforts and bodily pleasures, but at the same time binds and makes the suffering inevitable. Science and technology, we are seeing now, every man is tense with all things. He doesn't have inner peace. because culture is dropping down and civilization is increasing. So, whereas culture, advancement, spiritual advancement leads to formation of culture. This culture gives the peace and bliss and frees the soul from within. This we constantly have been seeing. And then the scientific as our civilization makes us dependent on everything. I am externally dependent on objects, on gadgets, everything. Even just to imagine the electricity not to be there in war pieces, times and all, we see that no more peace. So dependence on external and culture gives inner freedom. External dependence, slavery. I become slave of senses and mind. Science makes me slave of mind and senses. And in spiritual development gives me peace and bliss and frees us. This also we saw in last class. Culture is humanizing and divinizing. Culture is humanizing. I am making me more and more human. Means I am getting rid of animalhood in me. And divinizing. From humanity I am going to divinity. So this is the part of culture. And culture adds to dignity to the mankind. And then, but civilization debases man's dignity. See, we may nicely develop our civilization, science and technology. But where is the value for man now? Same thing when culture, every jiva on this earth is God. Everything is divine. So here comes into the picture the difference between culture and culture is domain of values. Civilization is domain of all illness and abuses. Because good people may use it for, but majority people misuse the science and technology. So this is the main thing we saw in the last class. And we also saw the science which is not harmful to humanity and not harmful to the nature comes under the culture. Civilization. It's civilization. How to live in the world. If it is not harmful to nature and humanity, it comes under it adds on to the culture. It becomes a part of culture. That also we saw. There is another factor we saw is there is strong emotional connection or elevating connection between the culture and relieving the psychic, emotional and physical stress. The life of ancient people was exemplifying the role of culture in development of human happiness. This aspect of culture is called spiritual culture. This also we saw in last class. It's called spiritual culture, which relieves man from psychic stress, emotional stress and physical stress. Culture, civilization does not do it, this culture alone, and this culture is called spiritual culture. And present world lacks conviction in that spiritual culture which molds character, which molds what you call noble character, harmony within, harmony in the outside world, and mutual love, trust. All these are built up by the spiritual culture, and present world lacks conviction. The greatest gift of ancient humans to the humanity is the spiritual culture. Till this we saw in the last class. Now we will go ahead with the further. From ancient times we are seeing highly polarized distinction between culture and civilization. This makes us understand that spirituality, which is the basis of spiritual basis and end point of culture. Culture's base is based on spirituality, and its end point is spirituality. And this spirituality alone can solve all the problems of human existence. It's the only solution for all problems of human existence. Once spirituality is attained, there is peace within, peace outside, peace in the society, mutual love. It's a wonderful world of spirituality which we see in the ancient times, especially in the eastern lands. And the center we can, like this earthquakes and all, the epicenter we call, epicenter we see India as the epicenter. So we will see that how the ancient people lived in perfect harmony within, without, at the social level, at all levels. So this is what we see. And civilization, which is not destructive, helps the objective world to grow, to develop. Civilization which is not destructive. Civilization has two aspects, one constructive and one destructive aspect. Culture doesn't have. Culture only constructive, positivity. So in civilization, I can use my technology to destroy or to construct. So that which is not destructive will develop the external world beautifully, objective world beautifully. And culture elevates mind and subjective. It's objective development, subjective development of transcending the nature and go. We transcend the nature little by inward journey. So civilization is external and material. Spirituality is the civilization that is internal and spiritual. One is external and material, culture is internal and spiritual. And here we see civilization expands horizontally. Culture expands vertically. It's a vertical growth. It ensures vertical growth, spiritual growth. We need spiritual growth as well as external expansion. But external expansion, culture, civilization should not harm the spiritual development. It must be conducive. It must be conducive to the society to live together. So this we see civilization, the great civilizations of ancient times we see possess, even now, at all times, utilitarian knowledge. It has how to utilize, utilitarian knowledge they have. Every whole resources of nature and its power we are trying to utilize. And it has civic services, material pleasures it offers civilization, but they are all short-lived and create bondage and dependence on external things. For everything I have to depend on, we lose the freedom. So this dependence and slavery to our own senses and mind, what is life if we are to live like that? So this, though great, they are great civilizations, with all these things, the man is bound, he is chained in the civilization. But great cultures we see contribute to the refined humanity, vertical development. That is, it ensures the spiritual development or spiritual growth. Man enjoys internal peace, bliss, and internal freedom. Freedom from mind, freedom from senses. He builds up love, peace. the individual, when individuals are the parts of society, all individuals make the society. If every individual is happy and contented within, they build up, they join together to make a society which has mutual love, peace and harmony. This is the most important part. And culture further, it doesn't stop with a society which is mutual love, peace and harmony. It awakens the divinity in man. Ultimately, I am immortal, I am divine. It dissociates. The nature is taking us every day, separates from body and takes me to a different dimension unrelated to body every day. Who am I? I cross the dream state also. I go to my spiritual existence. Who am I? When I wake up again, I identify with this body. So that my existence independent of the bodies I possess, gross, subtle and causal. That it leads to that divinity within. It awakens the divinity. It makes the divinity manifest externally. So this is the end point of culture. Culture leads us to eternal freedom and makes us understand we are immortal. Here comes the pure spiritual awareness and existence. So, though in common parlance, the two terms civilization and culture are interchangeably used, and even our popular dictionaries do not give the correct and satisfying explanation or definition of culture. And we have to deeply study and understand to ourselves what is this difference. Because we are on the way to know the eternal truths or the timeless wisdom. We are trying to know how we are moving towards civilization and losing the culture, that is spirituality. So here we see, though it is interchangeably used, it's entirely different things. And great thinkers in the world, they always gave importance to the development of culture. Civilization was all right. As far as our life in the world is comfortable, external stability is gone. Otherwise, we cannot go inward. To that extent, that we get extra. In every respect, I'm stable in my life. My earnings are constant. Health is there. Family is in a good shape and understanding. They are like a cluster. They are developing. So then we see there is harmony in this one also. So great thinkers always gave importance to develop spiritual culture. Spiritual culture. In culture, other things are also there, which can give us entertainment, pure entertainment. For example, bhajans, music. It gives pure, but there is another spiritual culture which makes me know my real existence. So to that, the great thinkers have given the most importance. Spiritual culture, when we say it is sum total of elevating experiences. In society, the saints are there, people are there, their experience of elevating experiences, which makes them free and expand to love the nature, to love all beings. These are elevating things. I live to myself as a small being, searching for my own food and this one, a small family. I am contracting. It is not elevating. Elevating, it's expanding. So when it's sum total of the expansion, elevating experiences, all elevating experiences that we see in the society together becomes a part of culture. Then the ideals we adopt, values we adopt, and symbols we adopt in our life totally together become uh, it is a fund of knowledge, or what we have gained from our earlier generation. This passed down to the next generation. It's a flow from generation to the subsequent generations. This is what we call spiritual culture. And here we see every day we pass through our experiences. We sleep, separate from the body, we enter a dimension unrelated to the waking state and my physical body. Then I enter into dream state. There I am having mind and senses still there. So I experience the dream world. Still deep I go. I don't know where I am, what I am. Time, space, everything disappears. I am in causal state, waking, dreaming, and deep sleep. From there, I again wake up to dream state, to waking state, and look at this world. And then again, I am busy with my earnings, my family matters, this, that. Again, I sleep. This much consciousness, my individual consciousness shrinks and expands. Expands to the level I am concerned with my family, my earnings, my life. Can I expand this consciousness to look at the world around? Yes, I can. Look at the world. How many people are suffering? How many people are enjoying? This expansion. Can you love everyone independent of their behavior towards you, or their life and their performances? Can you love? This becomes expansion of heart. To love the nature, expansion of mind. To love the power. Now, as we expand and look at the just external world and other people living in this world, we bring values into life. From normal life of living a life, he brings values into life. When values comes into life, not to tell a lie, not to thieve others, not to cheat others, not to tease others, not to comment on others, to live, to love everyone independent of their behavior, their life, their character. All these values we bring. Then still we expand. Look at the world. My need in this world. What should I do now? I've got a human body. I've got this intelligence nature has given me. I am capable. And this capability, how can I utilize? Oh, I will spend my life for the welfare of others. I will start my social work, and the rest of the life is offered to the society. Oh, I shall offer my body and mind for the nation. I will serve the nation. I will enter into research that helps mankind. All these things is I am bringing ideal into my life. From values, from normal living, I bring values into life. From values, I still expand and I start bringing the ideals into life, where I can say, I will sacrifice my life for realizing God, transcending this nature and go beyond. I want to be free. I want to be free from. I want eternal bliss. I want eternal peace. Then the transcendence of nature comes into picture. Now the ideal we come to. Then we are, whatever we do, we are not able to go beyond certain limits. So there comes into struggle. How to go beyond? Why is like this? Why am I like this? Why again and again something drags me out from my normal life? What is binding me? What is making me? What is within me that is forcing me towards the world? I want to be peaceful. Why my mind is so restless? Then we start entering into nature and trying to understand significance of life. Now, where am I? What is this nature in which I am there? What is this universe I start contemplating upon? What is it? What am I? What is this nature? What is beyond which is controlling all this with such a perfection? Look at the seed formation. Seed falling in the mud. A little drop of water, it starts germinating and growing back. How the seed formation? Such a law. The whole tree is hidden in that small seed. And that seed is going to project back the same tree, identical, same leaves, same this one. How much perfection you see. So this we see in nature, and somehow we want to transcend this. Oh, there is something beyond. Then the understanding of God, a power, a conscious power we see governing the whole universe and all lives. I start subjecting. I want to search for that reality which is governing the entire universe and all our lives. So, how the consciousness expands, you see. We come to the waking level, otherwise, we come normal man, comes to the waking level and sleeps. Again, waking level, eating, drinking, sleeping, again sleep. This much alone they expand. So you see the expansion to the higher levels of consciousness. So here we see that what is spiritual culture. So spiritual culture is sum total of all elevating experiences, values, ideals and symbols that we use, that in the society it moves from one generation to another generation, flows down. Softener, last time I mentioned, I was not correctly remembering, but it is Softener that mentions men are 1,000 times more intent on becoming rich than acquiring culture. Though it is quite certain that what man is contributes to his happiness, more to his happiness than what he has. What a man is contributes more to his happiness than what he has, what he possesses. But man is running after the becoming rich, not acquiring culture. So this is what happens. Ancient people had the conviction that true nature of man is divine, and his intellect, the intellect we use everywhere, that intellect is spiritual. Intellect is basically spiritual. It is pure and divine. The man himself is divine. The ancient people had this conviction, which as the civilization increases and cultural drop is there, this knowledge gets slowly eclipsed and we start running towards the world. The ancient people had that conviction, and for the same intellect, ancient people might have utilized for certain things. See, though it is spiritual, for survival, now a tiger is chasing, it's killing all animals and people. And that has to be, now they have to tackle that. Because nature wants self-protection to be done by every being. For cows it has given horns. For snake, fangs of poison. A scorpion to sting with tail. All these things, for man, the nature has provided the intelligence. So this intelligence they might have used for the inevitable purpose of living and protecting themselves, but never out of hatred or competitive spirit or out of jealousy. But we see the modern man is exactly opposite. The same innocent, pure intellect, they are out of hatred, jealousy, desire for power and this one they are using for destructive purposes. This we clearly see. So a spiritually oriented mind makes the life peaceful, enlightened, happy, and brings stability to the society. Remember, this spiritually oriented mind, materially oriented mind can move, I may be attracted towards the material developments. I can be material developments I can utilize and be oriented towards spiritual. So, being oriented to spiritual, you may not enter deep into the external material world. Just sufficient to make the living possible and minimum comfort necessary for living you will make up, and the rest you will utilize for developing inner peace and joy, inner freedom, and you make the society also give stability to society in which you live, because your heart expands. It's filled with compassion and love. So spiritually oriented mind makes their own life peaceful, happy, dwell in harmony, perfect harmony, internal and external harmony. In family there is harmony, in society there is harmony. They give stability to their own family and to the society. The early humanity we see was less intent on material development and they paid more attention to be united and happy. But we people call them uncivilized. It is something we have to deeply think upon. And this we have to slowly change. We are just there, I am giving you the essence of the timeless wisdom. How the ancient people lived, what are we to imbibe? We should not see anything with the background of the present social conditions in which we are living. The computer world with gadgets and all that. Everybody is lost in the materialistic developments and things and losing the inner peace. With this background, how they lived, your mind must be no preset understanding. Just you're observing everything impartially, without any partiality. So this is what we see. The early humanity always has been presenting to us that mind oriented to pure spirituality can make himself a blessing to himself and a blessing to this world of this one. For today, we'll stop here. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhrutavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namamaha.